So welcome to the January Sacred Rhythms forecast with myself, Roberta Robbins, and with Nancy Reed, who's been here for at least 6 months now, us creating beautiful, we hope, and we feel beautiful magic to support you through the month ahead. So thank you for joining us here today on January 2nd, and we are recording this so that people can get to this whenever they have the time for it. But also, we are live in the Cosmic Earth Weavers group right now. We always do these live within my free community. If you are not there, which we know those are with us right now are there. So we may be, paying attention to some of the comments and answering some questions. But for those of you that would like to join the community or just come in to see if it aligns with you, I always have the link in the description with this video on the replay. So January 2nd. Can we all feel into that? What? January the 2nd? Already? So as we were leaning in to get ready, I was like, I need to go get some smudging stuff here. Because it just feels like the energy is building and picking up so much. And Nancy's like, yep. I said, let's just do a little grounding. So for those of you that are new to this, Nancy and I lean in to what is needed for us collectively for the month ahead. We sink in before our calls of the astrology, numerology, cardology, all those things, the messages, but we lean in and trust the flow of what our call, what this will be. So first, let us just ground and take a moment into the fact we are in a new year, already a couple days in, already lots of magic happening. And almost like this feeling of still wanting to slow down and have rest and integrate, and then honoring that there's this energetic pull, there's something moving us, knowing that there's going to be stuff happening, right? And we want to create, but we really do need to take the moments, at least these first couple of weeks of January, still to try our best to slow down and integrate. So if you're anywhere that you have anything that you can ring a little bell to cleanse the energy, or rattle, or do any smudging, burn a candle. I just feel like some bay leaves. Just what I got here in my bowl. I got lots of things in my bowl. I feel like I just want to, so I'm inviting you to do that if you can. If not, just allow yourself to sink into this moment, and that we are doing this collectively for all of us that need that little smudging. And so if you can, if it's safe to, close your eyes and connect in with your breath. Maybe even place your hand either on your heart or into your second chakra, your womb space, your lower tummy, your belly. Just allow yourself to be here. Maybe one hand. I'm not even going to do that now that things are actually still burning here for us, around us. And it's being sent your way. One hand on my heart and one hand on my womb space. My feet are flat on the floor. I'm sitting up nice and tall. And if you can do that, I invite you to do so. And connect with that breath and just feel how good it feels to be in this position. And if it doesn't feel so good or comfortable, try to move and wiggle your body a bit. Maybe if you're sitting in a chair, I'm sitting on the edge of my chair, so it feels nice and comfortable. My feet feel really nice and relaxed and firm and grounded. My spine is tall, and I feel the energy rooting down through the base of my spine, rooting down, giving me deeper essence of grounding into Gaia. I'm feeling good with my hand on my womb space and my lower belly, second chakra, and on my heart. So placing your hands wherever they feel good. Making sure your head feels as though there's alignment, in the sense that The chin feels like it's parallel there to the floor. The crown is reaching up to the sky. Let's just breathe here for a moment. Nice deep breath in. And that beautiful exhale out. Taking a breath in through the nose. And out through the mouth. And again, breathing in into those places and spaces within you. And beautiful, deep, grounding exhale out. And just allowing yourself to find your own rhythm with your breath. Letting all energy that is not meant for now just drop away. All energy that is not yours be sent back to its source, blessed and transformed. And calling back all of your magic, your wisdom, all your essence and energy back to yourself. Allow it to be transformed and blessed as it comes back to you. And breathe that into your essence, into your cells, into your bones. Weave yourself back into your breath and into your body. Just feeling the presence, your presence of here and now. And welcome yourself into this moment, into this place and space and time. So Nancy, dear Nancy, what would you like to start with? Would you like to start on what you're noticing and feeling? I'm handing first over to you today. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I'm so grateful for being here and for in this space with you all today. And so you may have noticed at the beginning, I was frantically shuffling through a deck because there was a card yesterday in my Light Seers Tarot, which Roberta and I have both shared about time and time again, but that I was like, oh, that is what I want to start with for this 9 energy month, right? And so we have stepped into 2024. We have stepped into this 8 energy, which is so, you've heard Roberta and I talk about the 8s before, and just really loving it, loving the flow, loving the momentum, the abundance, the creation, all that comes with it. But there's also that little bit of hesitation that we're not quite there yet. And it is because we are starting off this year with this 9 energy. And so we're just a little bit, like Roberta said a moment ago, beginning of the year, like slowing down and pausing and taking that sacred pause, not pausing to be afraid and put on the brakes almost, which I am personally feeling a little bit. I got some adulting stuff I got to do in the next couple of weeks that I'm resisting. And I'm like, oh, I feel like this. Okay, can we see this? This hermit. So the 9. I was like, oh, I feel like I could totally. But as I looked at this card yesterday, look at where you're sitting, right? You're up, you're getting that higher perspective, you're turning inwards. So with this beautiful 9 energy of January, it's an invitation to take a deliberate pause, not to hide your head in the sand, even though there's that part of me that is like, yes, but I also know that that is not how I will respond. But to be deliberate and to be intentional and be like, okay, pause. What am I still letting go from 2023? What do I want to deliberately create, experience, enjoy, receive, give out to the world in 2024? I don't have to make all of those plans and commitments right now. I can wait until February with this 1 energy for that. But right now, I get to turn inwards, let go, in order to receive how you'll be able to do these things for your highest good and the highest good of all of us. This 8 energy really does feel like we are elevating the planet for all, right? So in this 9, to begin, just give yourself permission to pause. You know, January 1st, we always hear that. Do your resolutions, the new, the new, the new, change, change, change. But you know what? You are perfect just as you are. You don't need to hustle it out and get the changes done. Take that time to honor who you are and who your soul is, and cherish your magic, and then be willing to, yes, we want to do things to align with ourselves and create new intentions, create new patterns and stuff like that, but from a place of sacredness and wholeness, not a place of fear, which I do feel like a lot of this January 1st New Year's resolutions historically has felt that. And I am feeling a collective change around that too. I see a lot less of that. Now, obviously, it's still out there. And if it feels right for you, amazing. That is perfect too, right? We all have our own sacred rhythms. And just know that it's okay to pause and not fly out of the gate this week. So that's where I really wanted to start. The other card I did really want to share was the strength card. So the 8, this is the card of for the year. And of course, I was looking at it and I'm like, oh, like the Leo in me is like, yes, like this card is me. And I'm actually going to keep this one. I have little card holders that live on my desk. And I was like, this one is just going to be that reminder for me all year. And like the lamb, like the gentleness, like strength is not, it can be, and sometimes it needs to be. But for me, it is not this brute force knocking things down. It's that gentleness, that coming from your own personal power. I feel like there's a lot of personal power in this year. And so I want to keep this card on my desk as a daily reminder. So yes, this is where I felt like beginning today.
I am so glad that you pulled those cards, because I was like, do I have time to pull those cards out of my deck? And I didn't. I was like, maybe she has them handy, and you did. And I love that you pulled them out. And this is, having those cards out. Sometimes there's, key cards we want to have out with us. But then we use that deck all the time. I just want to say you can get that deck. I do believe it's still on sale at Hay House for $15 right now if you go in. But they also have the pocket size. We promote this deck, because it's one of our favorites. I also am friends and know Chris Ann that created it, and I have the indie deck. I also have the pocket deck that I got too, and I just love it. I love it. But another tarot deck, just because we're talking about tarot a little bit here, is that I've started to use a little bit more, is the Unfolding Path Tarot. And it's quite nice in case you guys are looking for something a little new for a fresh new year to add to your collection. And I just want to say, like, how nicely the 9 and the 8, first of all. So you've heard us talk so many times already if you follow us, and I'm sure you've heard other people talk about this 8 energy, and that so we're collectively, all of us in this 8. We just left a 7 year. We're in this collective. It is all of us are going to be working and feeling 8 energy at wherever we are with what that is, because that's the thing, like there's going to be a thread moving for all of us, but we're all, we all have different stages and where we are in life. So it will work with us where we're at to really help us evolve, to ascend, to step into mastery. When I think 8, I think mastery is the first word I hear. Abundance, integrity, soul integrity, spiritual responsibility, that rising up the infinity, in that 8, the moving beyond and up ascension, a quantum, like there's those essence, right? And so then we have this month, we start with January. January itself is a 9 energy. So, Nancy just showed you the beautiful Hermit card in the tarot, which is the 9. And then we're working with that tarot of the strength card all year long. And as Nancy was talking, I was thinking, yes, it's like you don't have to rush. We're on, first of all, if you don't know this yet, over the last few years, if you this memo hasn't come into your being yet, I'm just gonna give you the 2024 memo, is everything's changing. Everything is, and we're gonna really see it this year in a different way. And I don't say that in to where it puts you in fear or anything like that. It's just there is going to be, we're really going to start to see things and people seeing and feeling and stepping up into awakening and what that means for them and being sovereign. So we're going to say that 8 and that 9 is that 9 says go within, right? The hermit, but it's the ascension, the light, the knowing within. And that strength card, though it can give that fiery feel strength in it, there is the strength of knowing how to be personally sovereign in this, to be in your medicine, in your stillness, in your, say, hermit phase right now. And yeah, when it comes to manifesting, putting intentions, what's your resolution? Is that the right resolution? I don't know if I feel like I even use that word anymore. It feels so weird as I say it. It's really, it's best. This is my advice. If you're like, oh, I feel like I should be doing something. Okay, first of all, notice that about yourself. Like, it's okay. You are where you are. And it's divinely perfect that actually we need transition. We need a little bit of that stillness. And it's not till like the first new moon, which happens to be the 11th of January this year. So the Capricorn new moon, that's a great time. New moons, setting intention and manifesting, that's a beautiful time to go, oh, okay, where am I? What do I feel? What is percolating? I've had some time the end of December and thinking and feeling in the start of January and allowing myself to integrate and be quiet in the stillness. What is percolating? What is moving within me? Because we are also thinking, that beautiful strength in the Hermit card, but we're in Capricorn season, which is my favorite season, like one of my favorite seasons. I must say, I also love sewing and Beltane, but the Capricorn is my personal, because my birthday is literally less than a week now away. And I love the Capricorn energy. It is, it's that last phase of like, it's the last earth sign of our wheel, our dance around the wheel, the astrology wheel. It's very crone, it's very wise woman, medicine, sacred medicine, sage energy, which knows thyself. And there's a stillness and a wholeness within that nice solidness, right? And it just comes out, it vibrates out. You don't need a lot of words and action. It's a embodiment. So knowing this is the sacred cycle, the sacred season we're also in, supporting us with this. And if we look outside, we feel that, at least here in the Northern Hemisphere, things are still, nothing, we don't see much popping up in the land, where some of us are still waiting for major snow winter to arrive. Normally we're in a lot more snow, but we feel that, right? We feel still the shorter days and the longer nights, even though we know the sun is returning slowly to us right now. So I love just bringing us in with what Nancy has shared with the numerology and with the cards and with the sacred cycles and with the astrology of being in Capricorn season until the 20th of January. There is this invitation to be within yourself. Get your cozy blanket, have your lovely tea. It's all good. And the other date that's really great to also think about putting those intentions out is January 20th to the 22nd. Just as we're shifting into that Aquarius season, we have the sun doing various things. We have Pluto which I'm going to talk about. Pluto finally moving back into Aquarius, which is huge for us. So those are another dates if you're thinking when, a good time for me to really sink into maybe what are my intentions? What do I want to manifest? When I want to claim and start stating outwards from myself, the 11th and then the 20th to the 22nd. Nancy, what are those what we got? I didn't write down. I have my calendar in front of me. Anything
So
coming up? I'm just looking at, of course, we are in our spades right now with Cardology. And so that's a 3 of spades on the 11th on the new moon. Yeah.
partnered
So
with a two.
what's that?
Partnered with a two.
Partner with the 2-day.
Yeah.
And so we have that beautiful creation, right? Expansion, abundance happening. And the spades are in the winter, are in that crone knowing, listening, receiving energy. Anything you want to add to that new moon day?
Just the three also being like that alignment, like just taking that time to dig, like the spade always looks like, a spade, the shovel in your garden, right? So just taking some time over the next, as we run through this spades leading up to that, just like, okay, toss over your shoulder the things you don't want anymore and allow to be able to dig into the things that you do want. And then just really with that new moon, that 2 energy, just remembering that partnership and connection. So whether that's somebody else in your life that you want to share these intentions with, that you're creating with, whether it's just that you want to create it with spirit, there's so much space this year, especially, I feel like, to really commit to your spirituality and to your devotion to that. And so I feel like this first new moon is a great invitation for that, with this 2 energy of just being like, yes, you are not in any of this alone. We are all in this together, and to really honor that connection on that day. And then,
I gotta highlight that word you said, devotion, because that is a key word for 8 too, that devotion energy. So just adding that in. Continue on, my dear.
and the when we move into the as we're moving into Aquarius season, there's that lot of physical energy with the diamonds, and that can also be like around what you're valuing. So it's like, we think of it as money and our material world and all of that, but it's also our values and how our values are being expressed in the world. And we're playing with like the 7 of diamonds, the 6 of diamonds, the 5 of diamonds in that time. So we're in our heart space and we're ready to like amplify what we value out into the world. And we're also partnering in that with the 2, 3, 4. So it just feels like this like beautiful momentum of just, what is it that you truly want to experience in 2024? And so there's just so many fun patterns in this month with the numbers. We get to run through 3 manifestation cycles of the 1 through 9, starting yesterday. Like, what a beautiful day to start the new year, the new month, all of that with that 1 energy. And like today we're in the 2, so it builds, but it's not this like, woo, like, I know Roberta and I are constantly time, but be gentle with the building is what I invite, that pause, right? Don't feel like you have to rush through it all. You've got many more opportunities. That's where like there are so much opportunities this month for us to take time to get clear, to release and let go, and to just really be like, yes, crystal clarity is what's coming through. And it's not a rush. Like, if you're not sure today what it is you want to feel, do, be, that's okay. There's plenty of time. Just be deliberate.
And I love it. For those of you that are like, I'm not quite sure what you two are talking about with these cardologies and these number days. Let me give a little feel here. And so every day we have a number day, which helps if we know what our number is, our personal day number, it helps us sink into our natural biorhythm and how we're flowing, especially when we know the essence. So this month started on a one day. So January 1st was actually a one energy day. That doesn't happen every month, just so you know that. So we have this beautiful constant flow that's going through a cycle 1 to 9, 1 to 9, 1 to 9, running through this month. And then the cardology starts at the start of the year with the King of Spades, which is where I want to say it's the top node of a journey, like when you've made it through different parts of your journey from child, from say maiden, mother. I use a lot of those maiden, mother, crone, like as you're moving through your journey of adolescence and up and up and up, you get to a point. So that we start the year every year on this King of Spades, and then it starts moving down, and then it will go to diamonds after that, and then clubs, and then hearts. So this month we get to see, we start with all of the spades, and then we see all of the diamonds, and then we end with a few clubs. What is great in echoing in a sacred rhythm for us is that spades is sitting there in the winter with wisdom, with knowing when you have to do something or act or not. It knows how to discern within self. And so we start with that, even with our beautiful 8 energy year, with that beautiful 9 energy month, with the Hermit going within the inner enlightenment within self, and the spades that are running through the first few weeks. So we have so much support from Capricorn season to the numbers of the month, to the numbers of the day, to the cardology running through, saying, be in your sacred knowing and your sacred medicine. Time, Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Saturn is also known as Father Time and Karma. So if you feel like the weaving of time, lean in and trust the inner knowing of what that is too. As a Capricorn, I always sometimes feel like I can weave time. Even if I'm running late, somehow I can manage to weave through it. Because I think there's something supporting in that. And Nancy is a rising Capricorn. So she feels that her Capricorn in that, in her rising essence. And so we have that connection maybe of time, or we're always talking about time, but more and more people are talking about time, which will lead me into what I'm going to say next. I know most of you have been feeling time speeding up, and people are like, is it speeding up? What's going on? Is it just me? Is it just that I've gotten older? And we know that, as we've heard, even as kids, time speeds up as you get older. It really is speeding up. And this year's going to be even faster. Sorry to say, even faster than last year. And part of the reason is there is a natural flow. Our frequency is rising. We are rising, our frequency, our knowing, our clarity. So that's a higher energy. It's going to move faster. So we're moving very quickly ourselves. Everything, the collective, we feel it, we see it. And we are moving more into that Aquarian age, with Pluto going in, having 9 months this month with Pluto in Aquarius, that air sign. And Aquarius is that collective, out there communication energy. And so we're going to feel it even more because of what we're moving into Aquarius age. And we'll have our most months this year, and then we'll really get into it in 2025. So it's okay, but the importance is, who are you? How do you ground? How do you root yourself? How do you be that bridge in a healthy, whole way that is been working on that opening and receiving, allowing that seal to open, receive, and connection and everything, but also that we got to be in our bodies here and rooted. There has to be this beautiful weaving, whatever that is looking like for you. I invite you to actually take some time to just sit and be still. And what is it? What does it look like? How does it feel to be grounded, be tethered within yourself, but also open and not pulled too much up here in the fast spinning energy? Okay. So I'm going to go to just look at my notes because we always have some notes and we've just been kind of, we know what wants to come in. And naturally, I just want to go over the fact that, I said Capricorn, we're in the season till the 20th of January. This is a feminine season with Capricorn. It's a cardinal sign, meaning the cardinal signs are the ones when the like we had winter solstice, right? So that marks when Capricorn starts. So that's a cardinal. Same when we have spring. So Aries starts that one. And same when we have a summer, which is Cancer, that's a cardinal sign. And then our last cardinal sign is when fall starts, and that would be Libra. So we have these four things, and I actually see them as like directional in my brain and also on various wheels, actually. So it's a cardinal. Cardinal wants to start, it wants to create. So we do have this push. Like I said, we have this wisdom saying, just breathe, be within. We're in the season of slowing down, going within that hibernation of soul self knowing. And yet, cardinal sign says, I want to create. What am I going to create? So there is letting that stir in a way that isn't so expansive or out of yourself, but within yourself, nurturing. Okay, that's where it is in the wintertime. You can imagine what it feels like in spring. Spring, we start putting a little more action and planting and things like that. So think of those things as how that's blooming within you. Capricorn is the sea goat, mountain goat has two. If you don't know that, we are bouncing with like that earthly plane because it's an earth sign, knowing how to move to the top of the mountain. I hear some people say there is no mountain. I heard in a particular group of individuals that would always say that there is no mountain. I'm like, I freaking like my mountain. I want my mountain because my mountain has a beautiful journey. And the mountain goat knows how to take certain steps. Sometimes you have to go back. Sometimes you have to like pause, all these beautiful things, but there is a journey. And the mountain is I invite you to think of it as a beautiful journey, right? Of what you're discovering going. And so that earthly grounded steps, organization, it also has that we think about our career structures, how we're doing something, all that's a theme right now. But also that sea goat part is that wisdom, the flow, the knowing, the deepness of the cosmos. It is my favorite. Like, I love that balance between that. And those of you here live right now, you're in the cosmic earth weaver community. I named it that way for a reason because that is what we're doing. We are weavers, and we're weavers of both through us, with each other. So this is, you guys, welcome to your season. Like, welcome. Come home to it. Saturn, you've already heard me say, governs that, Capricorn. And then I just want to talk about Aquarius, which happens and switches into, Sun goes into Aquarius season on the 20th this year. And that is an air sign. You already heard me talk a bit about it. Water bearer, sorry. So people think it's a water sign because of the water bearer, but it's an air sign, is masculine, and it is fixed, ruled by Uranus. Now, there is a little Saturn. We start now, modern times, we're starting to see, no, modern times is the Uranus. Old times is Saturn, saying that there's a bit of Saturn that comes in there. But there is that evolution out there movement, hence the age of Aquarius that we're moving into, and the expansion out from that Pisces that was very different for us. So we're also untangling this year, and especially we'll start to feel it a lot this month. We're untangling from the old of the Pisces energy we've been in to move into a collective and community and expansion and looking at things, technologies, various things in different ways for us. I mean, you guys have seen that. So there's so much of that. And I think we're going to feel it. So be gentle with yourself in January, because there's a lot of major planets and various things that are happening that are very dynamic, can be a little unpredictable. And that's why knowing thyself is so important right now. So we talked about the new moon being in Capricorn on the 11th. And just to give you guys, those of you that like a little more details about that. So the 11th, 20 degrees, and at 6:57 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so that's 3:57, a.m. Pacific Standard Time for those that like to put those in there. So once again, that is a great day to go, what do I want to manifest? What do I want to put out there? What do I want to speak? As Nancy said, two energy. We saw the two energy there on that day, meaning collaborations, maybe state it out, start partnering up, sharing maybe some of these thoughts and ideas with others too. And then I'm just going to talk about the full moon before we go into some other stuff. I'm going to pass it back to you, Nancy. So the full moon will be in a Leo, fiery Leo. That goes with that beautiful strength card, tarot strength card that Nancy showed. That is January 25th, 5 degrees at 12:54 p.m. So that's 9:54 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So Nancy, and full moon. Oh, so sorry, let's pause on that. So full moon, right? You'll start to feel the energy. It's fiery. It's out there, wants like to get out and be seen, hear me roar, wants to feel their identity. So it's probably not going to be till around the full moon where you actually start to feel some of these things going, okay, I think I'm starting to get ready to like get out there and start coming out of my hibernation a bit, not hugely, but like, because we're still in the winter, but there's going to be this feeling of like, okay, I think I'm getting ready to get out there and be seen a bit more. So that's a natural cycle for us to be following and thinking about. Nancy?
And on that day, so we have that 7 energy partnered with the 2 of diamonds. And so as you were saying that, yeah, it was like that. This is why we have all this time at the beginning to be like, know thyself, so that when we get into that Leo energy, we get to declare it. We get to claim who we are and share it with the world. But we have this time before that we get to just be really clear with ourselves and not worry about that comparison and who do other people think we are and who am I being in this world for others. It's like, no, let's slow down. Let's take this time. Who am I? And then, yeah, with that full moon and Leo energy, now just stepping more boldly into that personal power again that we talked about a little bit earlier, right? And obviously as a Leo, I'm like, yes, bring on the Leo season right after, or Leo full moon, not Leo season, sorry, but right after that Capricorn season, which for me, we talked about being my rising, right? So I feel like there's this beautiful opportunity there for all of us just to be like, claim that inner line and owning your magic and your magnificent. And then a few oils that just dropped in while we were talking about that Capricorn energy and that grounding. I do have some blends for you that I will share towards the end. And as always, I will make a graphic for you guys for them. But really, like I woke up yesterday morning really needing to feel that grounded energy. I was way up in here, and as many of you in this group know, I like to live up there, but also, as I also said earlier, there's adulting that needs to be done in my real life. So vetiver and myrrh are 2 oils that I've really been leaning into since yesterday morning, just applying them at the base of my spine, just root chakra, just really grounding in, bottom of my feet, also over my heart, just to like ground in that energy of breath almost. Like I felt like yesterday morning I really couldn't breathe, and it was like, no, I want to, which felt weird for me because the day before I felt very grounded in this earth, like, right? So just that switch, the year, the month, all of that, it was like whoosh, and I'm like, okay, bring myself back to here. So if anybody else is feeling that these days too, and just like all the, okay, some of us, our kids are still at home, but some of us, like I've started to get emails from people back at work, right? It is this, can feel like a little bit of a confusing time this week, because it's like, are we on break? Are we moving forward? Like what's happening? So lean into your vetiver and to your myrrh. So your root oils, like, so maybe there's other oils that speak to you, but your root oils from the earth or your tree oils are also very supportive for you in this coming weeks, just to help keep you here, grounded, support that inward journey that you are on. And then, yeah, I just wanted to touch base again, just on, we talked about the cardology and just that we are moving through the spades. So that inward transformation, being called higher, and just letting what's coming in for you over the next 2-ish weeks, just play with that. Let go of judgment around it, like I should know better, or like self-mastery isn't about shooting all over yourself. It's about recognizing what you do know and honoring that, and also being like, okay, this is what I want to know more of, or about myself. This is what I'm willing. There's a vulnerability, that's what I'm trying to say here, of in this energy, that, and so being comfortable in the discomfort, also finding the areas that the people, the connections, the oils, the cards, whatever it is that will help you with that vulnerability, that safe space for you to be allowed to be open and explore these things. So, there's amazing people in Cosmic Earth Weavers who are sharing their wisdom and their magic. We're coming back with our Mondays. Rupert has introduced the Tuesdays, which I'm super stoked on. The Wednesdays are back. So on Mondays, it's card readings. Tuesdays, we're doing prosperity and activations. And then Wednesdays, it's like teaching your wisdom. So if you are a member of this group and you want to participate, we welcome you. Please sign up. If you want to come and receive the medicine, please. So all of these things are put in place to help us with that connection and that place to be vulnerable. This group is an amazing place to start. If you feel like you have something that you want to share with the world, but you're like, oh, where do I do it? Come do it here. You've got the greatest cheerleaders in the world to come in, support you. And just remember that today it's Queen of Spades Day. Queens want to be here to be of service, right? So we are all here to raise each other up and to support and love on each other. So anyway, that's just what I was really feeling just there with this energy. And then we move into that diamonds energy. And it's like that more physicality, but it's not go out and do, it's just like being with who you are. And then, yeah, like I said, Roberta mentioned earlier, we're finishing off the month with 4 clubs days. So that's our thoughts and our ideas. And so now we're starting, okay, we figured out what we want, we figure out what we value, now starting to express that out into the world. And doing it with confidence and actions speak louder than words, feels like, right? Okay, walk the walk but walk your walk, not anybody else's. So if that's a jig for you, go ahead and jig. If that is sitting in silence, that's great. But just make sure whatever it is, it's for you and not for others. And then that will help others be allowed to have that for their own space.
Thank you for that about all of it, but especially about the community, because as you'll hear me say, we are in this part of our lives where we are coming together, support each other in different ways, and not a competitive, not sell tactics, not a whole bunch of other things that we're undoing that. So the intention when I created the community here, which is coming up to almost 2 years now since I first opened it, was to have this safe place and for us to cheer on each other. And I just want to say, I know Lisanne is here with us right now. She offered a beautiful guided journey. There was a few extra little special days I had right around winter solstice with community members came in and offered gifts and shared things. And Lisanne did this journey that is like, where are you now? Where are you going? It's a beautiful journey. I don't want to ruin it because what it's in there, because to be in it. And I placed that along with Nancy did a Reiki session, and Jody came in and did some cards and some messages for the time of the year and where we're going. So that's in the guides. Just so you know, if those of you that are in the community, I do try my best to keep things also organized for us in the guides tab with the Monday. Well, I don't do the Mondays actually because they go by so quickly, our readings, but anything I do on Tuesdays with the activations and member shares and special things, they're all in there. So you can find them. So you can find Nancy, Jody, and Lisanne there from the 22nd, which was beautiful medicine to support you through the season, along with special gifts and things that other people offered, like meditations and just like so many different things. I can't even remember that, but they're there, and I'm really excited about our Tuesdays. We did this a little bit. I was trying to see how the activations Tuesday went before, but I've put in intention, prosperity. 8 years. So bringing this back to our forecast and the energy of this year, we are in the 8. So many of us are freaking done with feeling in the lack of things in various ways, which, anyway, from financial to support to resources to collaborations and how all the things that are our birthright to have, and that we've been working so freaking hard in our journey so that we can live a thriving life in so many ways, not only for ourselves, but for our families and our friends, our communities, and for everybody else. So Prosperity Tuesday is for us to really anchor into the energy and the essence, and that we will clean up and raise our frequency and unhook anything that's stopping us from actually being prosperous in our life. So that's my intention with the punch in there, with the punch in there, the little, we're gonna get stuff done on Tuesdays in the community. So what else have we've covered a lot. So I just want to talk about, first of all, Mercury, if we haven't even mentioned it, is officially direct today. Now, it's in a new term I've heard recently is called the Mercury storm. I don't know if any of you, have you, Nancy? Yeah, the Mercury storm. It's first time I've started, it's a phrase that's come out, which I get it. It kind of means, it just came out of the direct, but yet it's not moving in the degrees on the wheel yet. So it's in this, it's like the static kind of energy. So the next few days, just still be cautious because it's not getting going yet on the wheel, on the astrology wheel. It's not moving forward. It's not yet coming back, retracing those steps it just went through for the next few days, but then it will start to move. So Mercury is direct, Jupiter went direct literally just a couple of days ago on December 30th, which is great. And went direct, Jupiter is that abundance and wisdom, minds, be 3 energy, expansion, creativity, all the things, right? You got to watch the disempowered side of it, which would be overdoing everything. So there's always a harmony and balance between everything, but it's in Taurus, and Taurus means like very grounded, very rooted, very tangible here. Jupiter moving through Taurus, and then Mercury is moving along. So then we also will have, by the end of the month, Uranus will go direct on the I have it written somewhere at the end of the month, around the 26th. I want to say, my brain is saying yes, 26th, there it is. The 26th. So planets are going to be like running direct. We're going to get some movement and flow. We always get this every year where we get some of the planets are going direct. The other thing is we have 3 personal planets in Capricorn season that's coming up, and all direct by that 26. Now, when I say personal planets, I am meaning Mercury, which is about how we communicate, how we receive, how we're thinking, how all that communication style. I'm Mars, our action, our desire, that moving forward energy. So Mars will be in Capricorn as of the 4th, okay, just in a couple more days. And then Venus is in Sagittarius right now. She's having a really good time. So if you guys are, feeling You want to get out and explore and have fun and all those things. That's because Venus, she is in that Sagittarius energy that wants to explore, wants to see the world kind of thing and see what's new and all that. So she's feeling really good in that fiery sign, but she will move into Capricorn. And when she moves into Capricorn on the 23rd, we will then have 3 personal planets, Mercury, Mars, and Venus in Capricorn, which is very grounded, very like finding its new essence and energy in a very deep and self-responsible way, but not to dim it like too responsible. This is where we get the what does that feel like? Do we need father time and Lord or karma? No. How do we bring it into a new essence of that 8 energy and mastery within how we communicate with Mercury? Our energy is moving forward with Mars energy, the masculine, and then Venus, how we explore the beauty, our essence, our intuition, how, right? So 3 of these personal planets, all are going to be in Capricorn this month. And then we have all the direct planets happening by the end of the month. So lots of things are happening there when we talk about the planets, the retrogrades, the transits. There's other transits. I want to go down there. If you want to follow somebody about transits, Molly McCord, I love her. I've done lots of various trainings with Molly. Pam Gregory, love Pam Gregory. Follow those 2 people on YouTube. They're great, and they will get into other things. Also, Sky, I forget what he calls this channel. Oh, I can't remember right now, but he's really good too, and he talking about the transits and various things too. So if you guys want a little bit deeper with more themes, I just want to talk about the themes essence of this month. So first of all, this powerful month, you've heard Nancy and I talk about this for so many reasons. The 9 and the 8 there is that, mastery stepping in, but there's an ending still to get ready for the beginning with that 9. It is a pivot month. We're pivoting out of the old. We're closing down something, but we're doing it not only personally. It's huge because it's happening collectively. There's a huge change. So it's a pivot this month, but we'll be working with how that looks and feels throughout the mastery of the 8 year. What else? I think I've said a lot of those routines. Yeah, I think I've gone through most of those. Oh, one last thing I wanted to talk about was the Chinese New Year. Everyone's getting on the ball about it's dragon, it's wood dragon, it's dragon. Okay, it will be. Not quite yet. We're still in the beautiful wood rabbit year, which is Mapos New Year, and I do believe Nancy's too, right? We're still in the wood rabbit till February 10th, okay? That will be when that will shift and we'll go into the dragon, the wood dragon. So just so you know, don't get get excited where we are because rabbits are awesome and that we're going into dragon. Love that up. But just so you know, there is still a few more weeks before we shift that, okay? Nancy, do you think I think we got a lot. Anybody have any questions here for us? I see some people have said hi. I'm loving it. I know we got some other Capricorn rising. Mine's Cancer rising. So, we just went through moon stuff with Cancer and so I was super loving the energetics there bouncing with my Capricorn. So we have some Capricorn. I know Katie, yes, Katie, you're here. Katie is a Capricorn like me. Her birthday's 2 days, I believe, before me. And yeah. Oh, and I just want to say we all have a personal energy year too. So you heard me talk about we have a personal day energy, and you've heard us talk about it's 8 energy for all of us this year, but we also have a personal year. And I know I've talked about this before, but for those of you that are new, they're like, well, how do I figure it out? Super easy. You take your birth date, so like the month and the day plus this year. So mine, I actually walk with the collective year. So it's an 8 energy year for me personally, along with the collective being an 8. So my birthday, right? I'm taking January 8th. So I'm taking the 1 of January and the 8. I add those together. I'm getting 9, but I already know that it's an 8 energy year. So I don't have to do the calculations. I know that's 8. So I'm adding those together. I get the double digits and then I bring it down to it being 8. So does that make sense? Nancy, do you want to give a calculation for yours so they get a
Absolutely.
nice example?
So I am August 20th. So the 8 plus the 2 plus the 8. So then we get 18. Put those together, we get the 9. So mine is always kind of that one ahead of the personal year. So I experienced a bit of that 8 feeling last year, right? We were in the collective 7, but I was the 8. And, and it's like, bring on more of that. I am ready. I realized I was like, oh yeah, like I've got a brand new infinity anklet that I was wearing all year last year. And I'm like, oh, well, not all year. I started wearing in the summer. Sorry. But and then I was like, oh, well, I'm going to continue to embrace that this year. And so if anybody is still confused and does not do the calculation, put it in the comments. Roberta and I will come back and help you figure out what your personal year energy is. Absolutely.
And I know we've done this before too in other calls, but Nancy, hey, tell them how to figure out the personal day number. What's your personal? I mean, yours is really easy. So zeros, right? Whenever time we get a 0, guys, we drop that.
Totally.
What's your personal day?
So because I'm on the 20th, I get to drop that 0 and mine's a 2. So Roberta, whose birthday is next Monday, can we just, right? Monday? Yes. Can we just celebrate her and that? So hers will be an 8 as well, right? So she is full of 8s this year personally. And then throw in that with the collective, and it's just magic. I am so excited for what this year brings for you.
Me too. It is 8 because it's next week, not only is it's the 8th of January, my birthday, but then I'm on my 8-year collective 8. And the day is 8. I mean, it's 8, 8, 8, 8, 8.
Yeah.
So if your birthday, say, is the 12th, you do 1 plus 2, you get a 3, that your personal day is 3. If your birthday is the 25th, the 5 plus a 2 is the 7. Your day is a 7, your personal day biorhythms. So hopefully that helps you guys out with your day, knowing it runs from 1 to 9 on the calendar days. And then there's a whole thing about the cardology, meaning I'm a 6 of spades. Nancy,
And I'm
what
6 of clubs.
are
6
you?
of clubs.
6 of clubs. I'm like, I know it's like 6 of clubs, 6 of spades. I believe Katie, you're would be an 8 of spades just because you're a couple days before me. So if you guys
Veronica's on call, she's the 6 of diamonds. Look at that. Veronica's on and she's a 6 of diamonds.
The diamonds, the 6, the 6, 6, 6. So yeah, 6 club, another 6 of clubs. Yeah. So when those, yeah, we could, I mean, that's a whole thing. And Nancy and I have been talking about how we're gonna navigate some of that stuff in the new year, teaching wise, because we know we love teaching. And yeah. So thank you for everybody that's been here. Lots of information. I don't even have a clue what time it is. Okay, no, we're good. We're gonna just come over our hour now. So if you guys have any questions, use the comments, whether it's here in the Cosmic Earth Weavers or those of you who are catching this outside. Comment wherever you may find it. Whether typically I have it on my YouTube channel. Sometimes I may probably be in the future be putting it somewhere else too. But let us know how you're doing, how you're feeling coming into this year. When you feel like do you feel like you're ready to do your manifestations of like putting things, I'm claiming this, or do you feel like it's a little bit later too for you in the month? I want to kind of know what you guys are feeling, where everything is at. And the word, that's the other thing, word of the year, mantra of the year. Just if you haven't claimed that, some people get on that right away, but it's okay. Like, let it dream it in, feel it in, breathe it in, know it in within. And then, you don't have to be there with January 1st with everybody else stating, claiming the pressure of everything. Be sovereign within yourself, because that's also part of this year, is us stepping into our sovereign power essence of knowing and being ourselves, and then inviting others to be exactly that too. So, Nancy, anything you want to finish up? Blends.
Yes. Okay. So for just you oils in general to use to help with this clearing, releasing, we're going to use some frankincense. We're going to use some lemongrass if you need to go deeper to let go of some stuff while we're in this 9 energy, because it is such a beautiful energy to be able to release attachments, release to receive, letting go, all of that. Dig in there with some cilantro. Like that's a really deep cleansing oil just to get the stagnant out. So I like to put that one on the bottom of my feet because it is a little bit like it smells great in cooking and all of that, but on your body, not as much. But get that sucker on the bottom of your feet, journal, burn, release whatever you need to do. But if you're feeling stuck in anything, cilantro and celery seed is another one. Two both very potent cooking oils, but amazing to get on our bodies to just move that energy through to just help us to release and let go. And then, as I mentioned earlier, to help support with grounding in this month, really leaning into our tree oils. And so then I created a blend called Breaking the Patterns. So we talked a lot about how we are, things are changing. And, you know, even that pattern of New Year's Day, I need to have my word of the year or my resolution. We've spent a lot of time on this call talking about how we don't need to do that, but it might be hard for you still to let go of that. So, or other patterns that you just want to shift and change this month. So in order to do that, we have cypress, rosemary, and Melissa. So these 3 oils together really want to help to bring that pattern to awareness for us, because we might be know what it is. Okay, I want to stop doing X, but why am I doing X? This will help us just to bring all of that to the surface, to let it go a lot easier. Melissa's going to shine the light on that, and then the cypress is going to help to bring that flow, just to let it to, it doesn't have to be a hard thing, right? So this is going to let it remove from us easily. And that rosemary is really going to help with the remembrance of who you really are at your essence. And that's going to make changing and shifting so much easier. Another blend that I created is called Back to the Basics. So this is once again just helping to return to us and supporting us in this spades energy at the beginning. So the cedar wood, it really wants to help us with realignment. And don't worry, I'm going to share these with you guys. So cedar wood is really going to help. Almost think of that tree trunk, right? To set us back up into alignment, remembering who we are, helping us to connect inwards with ourselves and to connect to our higher self. Lemongrass is going to help us to just release all of those things that we think we're supposed to be, but we don't really want to be. And then the pink pepper is really going to help us with clarity of who we are. Then I also have a rest and reset. So just to, as we're sitting in this inward energy, just to help us to be able to stay in rest if that's hard for you. Roberta knows that's hard for me. I told her yesterday, I need to rest. But so this was partly created for my own, but we're going to use tangerine, neroli, petitgreen, and vetiver here. And these are really just going to help us to accept that it's okay to slow down, that the gift of slowing down and taking that time for ourselves in the coming weeks is really going to help us to reset so that we can move forward with more clarity, more personal power, more passion. That neroli really wants us to reset with that passion of who we are and how that is going to be expressed in the world coming on that full moon in Leo. And then I just have one more for us, which is called Back to Clan. And this is really around that connection, that remembrance. So it's birch, it's lemongrass, it's rosemary, it's Siberian fir. This is really helping us with our connection and our sense of belonging. Jason and I, my husband, have really been talking a lot lately about collectively like that whole sense of belonging, and how as a human species we are really wounded there, and we need, want, desire to feel that again. And this is going to help us to create that for ourselves and for others. So I will share these blends with you guys, and let me know how you're using them, if you're using them, what other blends you would like support around, because I really enjoy putting the oils together. And thank you for today. Thank you for being here with us. And going on this journey with us. It's been lots of fun.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Nancy, for being here and adding your magic to our monthly and throughout the community, and so many of the other members that have been popping in here, and those that will get here at some point. Thank you for being a part of the community. And I just want to say all those beautiful essence that Nancy just mentioned in those blends. If you're like, well, I don't have those, or I'm missing that one, because there's a couple in there. I don't have Melissa and I don't have Birch. And there you can call that into your essence and being. You can also cook with some of those, right? Have them around you. There's lots of ways. So listen, and Nancy will add those posts. This is the Burke Sabine and the Cosmic Earth Weavers group. She will add that into the community to into the comments, but into the community, so you can see those. But you can play and call upon the essence to be with you, to walk with you, to surround you. And like I said, little essence of things, maybe cooking, or just having, maybe you have some of these plants like rosemary in your house. Smell them, be with them, use things in your kitchen. There's so many different ways. And my other thought was, is what is your grounding stone? Try to find a grounding or touchstone for yourself when you're like, I need to just be back here. And this is when I always have near me on my desk. It is a black obsidian, and it was gifted to me one of my many times I've been to Peru by this lovely lady that owns a store, and I always send people there when they're going to Peru. And it's one of my touchstones that I have. And then the following year, she gave me a beautiful, I have a rose quartz one that looks like that. So, depending if I need to be grounded or if I need to just bring into more heart space, have some of those crystals or touchstones, whatever feels good for you. It could be something from outside. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be fancy looking stones from, anything particular. It can be just what calls to you. It could be a tree. Go outside, sit by a tree, touch a tree, sit by a tree, hug a tree, go barefoot if you can outside. All those things to bring yourself here throughout this month. So we could keep going. And Nancy, I just want to say how important was that last blend that you just said, and the wounding, and that we feel displaced and lost. And there's just certain things within that. So I hope in our Cosmic Earth Weavers community this year, during especially workshop Wednesdays or the Tuesdays, we need to heal some of these for our prosperity and our thriving. And so setting that attention out there for any of you that have skills and abilities that you're like, I have a beautiful thing that I do, come on in and support each other with that healing too. So really going to stop talking right now. Thank you for those for being with us some extra time. Some of you will come back to this. And once again, happy January, happy New Year, and come and join Thursday. Oh yeah, forgot about this one. Athena and I, we're going to do a free workshop. It's a Zoom call. I've put details everywhere. Come and join us, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time this Thursday, the 4th. Athena and I are going to do some chilling messages, but we're going to walk you through receiving, opening up your channel to receive the messages that you need for this year, for this month, for this time. Okay, so that's a free call that we're supporting in a couple of days. So, okay, am I really done? I think I'm done. Bye, everybody.